Morning, guys. I'm just doing a quick video. It's going to be in two parts. It's going to be me talking for the first part and then me showing you my plans, if you will, in the second part. It's about the Crochet Society Advent Calendar, my thoughts of it, and if I enjoyed it, if I didn't, my review basically. So, in August last year, I bought myself a Crochet Society Advent Calendar. I hadn't received any of the Crochet Society boxes previously. I just thought at the time I was on maternity leave, my husband was furloughed due to the pandemic, and I just couldn't afford to spend that amount of money each month on a crochet box, even though, pardon me, sorry, even though I really, really loved them. And I watched Bella Coco's like unboxings each month, and I really loved the products and things that you got in the boxes. I just couldn't afford to like sign up for a subscription at that point. But with my birthday last year, I had a bit of spare money left over, so I decided to treat myself to the advent calendar, just as a one-off, to see if I liked it, to see if it was worth then maybe getting a subscription at a later date. So I bought it in August. It was £56, and I was told that it'd be shipped out in November, and it would be here in time for opening at Christmas, or on the 1st of December, should I say. So then in November, I received a very, very large package that was actually the advent calendar, and it was huge. I wasn't expecting it to be that big. I was really impressed. The packaging was lovely. It was well presented. The numbers were big. My daughter was helping me. She's only 4, so she was helping me open them each day. So it was good for that. So I knew that a lot of people had sort of received them, and some people had actually posted to say that they'd opened them all already because they didn't celebrate Christmas, but they loved crochet. And I actually managed to have some willpower, which is unheard of for me, but I didn't Google it, I didn't look, I didn't do anything. I just opened it day by day by day. And when I started opening it, it became pretty apparent that it was just mainly a yarn subscription, not a yarn subscription, sorry. It was a yarn advent calendar. Each day had a different 33-gram ball of yarn. So it was the Bella Coco Confection DK, and each ball of yarn was named after like a food item. So you had watermelon, ice and sugar, coffee cream, strawberry milkshake, etc., etc. And you also got, so on the first day you also got a hook, a 3.75 mil hook, which I hadn't had already, so it was a good addition to my set. And then every now and again you would get a little stitch marker. Again, it was like food orientated, so it had like a gingerbread house or a gingerbread man. I think there was also a candy cane, I could be wrong, but anyway, there were like food items that you'd get at Christmas time. I think there was an ice cream as well. But you got 24 balls of yarn. Now, at first, I didn't realise that there was a cal that went with this. I just thought that it was yarn and you kind of had to figure it out for yourself. So at first I was quite disappointed, thinking, oh my god, I spent £56. I could have bought 24 balls of 100-gram DK from like Home Bargains, etc. for £24, actually less than £24, and I would have been able to make a lot more with it. But then I realised that there was actually a cal, so I saw a lot of people using the hashtag or like Crochet Society, or tagging Bella Coco and Crochet Society in their posts, and there was a cal to follow along. So I had to look into it. I think it was about 4 days in at this point when I actually realised, because I'm like so behind. And I was a bit far behind, and with work, like working full time and 2 kids and a house and this and that, I just didn't find the time to actually get started. So before I knew it, it was like 12 days in, and I said to myself, right, on my next couple of days off, I'm just going to focus on maybe doing 3 or 4 parts of the cal at a time. I could write them down, I could save them, and I could go back to them when I needed. But in the end, it was just going to be one blanket that you're making, and I've got 2 kids, so I thought, well, I need to think of something that I can do that would incorporate both the children, so I could make them both like sort of a blanket each. So instead of catching up on the cal, I decided just to do my own thing, and I have come up with an idea which I think is going to actually work out very well. So I have figured out that each 33-gram ball makes 6 little circles, plus a granny square plus a little bit extra. So I'm going to show you in the next part of this what I've done. But basically, for 33 grams, you actually get a lot out of it. It goes a really long way. At first, I thought, oh my God, these are tiny. I thought they were 50-gram balls. And then I looked at the label and it was only a 33 gram. And I panicked thinking, I cannot work with this. I don't know what I've done. I've wasted my money. But actually, they are so lovely to work with. The colours are so vibrant. I'm actually using a 4mm hook with mine because it is quite thick for a 3.75mm hook, so I'm using a 4mm hook. But I've made 6 circles, which I'm then going to turn into squares, which I'm then going to sew together. And I'm planning on making 6 blankets. So I've got 6 kids that I've got in mind that I want to give a blanket to, including my own 2 and my niece, and 3 other. And they'll all kind of have matching blankets. And then I've got a granny squares that I'm going to put together to make like another little blanket. And I still got a little bit of scrap from each ball as well, which I'm going to put onto my son's scrap blanket. He is just coming up for 1 and he's obsessed with all the colours because it was just a scrap blanket to start with. And I thought I'm just going to keep adding to it until it gets big. But he loves it. And he's nearly 1, so I'm just going to keep adding. I'll have like 24 scraps. I'm going to tie them together, use my yarn baller to like ball them up, and then I'm going to make add that on, and then once they've added on, that'll be his blanket pretty much complete as well. So I'm actually really impressed. I'm going to insert the next part now, and that'll show you what I've made so far with the Bella Cocoa yarn. So stay tuned. Excuse the dog barking in the background, but this is what it looks like. So each door of the advent calendar had these balls of yarn in, but it had 24. So you were getting 2 of each shade. So this is the one that I've got left of like the whole ball, and then I'm going to show you what I've been able to make from that ball, and then I'll show you what ideas I've got. So basically this one is watermelon. It's a 33 gram ball, 66 meters, and it's the Bella Cocoa yarn confection DK. So each ball is the exact same length and weight. It's just a different shade. So like I was saying in the previous part of this, I missed out on the cal because I just had life got in the way basically, so I did not have time to catch up on it. And on my grid on the last couple of days, I did say that I was going to try and find a different project, so what I could do with the balls of yarn that I had. I wanted to make something nice. I didn't want to just waste them. So I had to think about it all month, and then I've finally sort of come up with a solution of what I want to make with the yarn. So I'm going to show you how much I totally underestimated, as I was saying. I totally underestimated the amount that I would get out of these. I didn't think it would go as far as it did, but it's went really far. So I'll show you what I've got, and then I'll just go from there. So basically what I'm going to do is, it did say I was going to make 6 blankets, and then I want to make something else and something else. So I have turned one of these balls into, this is a full, what I'm about to show you is a full ball of this, and this is what you can get out of it. So I've made 6 of these circles. They will lay flat, obviously. I'm going to turn them into squares. They're going to be quite big. I think it's 3 rounds or 4 rounds on top of that. Then I'm going to sew them together once I've made all the colours. So basically I've got 24 balls of yarn. So I should have 24 circles, squares, whatever you want to call them, in each blanket. So every one that I'm making of the 6 will be kind of identical. I might put the squares in some sort of different order, but I'm making blankets for my daughter, my son, my niece, my best friend's 2 little girls, and my niece-in-law, or I don't know, yeah. So anyway, that's what I'm doing. So I've only done 2 balls of yarn so far, but I find that these are so quick to make. I can sit down with a ball of yarn per night, and I could get them made into circles. And once I've made all of the circles, I'm going to then start making the squares. I don't want to get distracted. I have actually thought about turning these into squares already, but I've decided no, I'll wait till I've got all my squares, and then I'll just go colour by colour, making them into squares. So that's the first thing I've done. So I've got 6 of these from each ball. It's 3 rounds, starting off with 12 and then increasing by 12 each round. Then I've made this granny square, as well. So what I'm going to do is once I've made all my circles and made them into squares, or just made all my circles, should I say, whatever yarn I've got left, I'm going to turn into these. So these are like 1, 2, 3, 4 rounds of these sort of cluster granny squares, I don't know what you'd call it. They're clusters here, and then obviously it's just continuous here. I'm going to make 24 of these and put them together and make another blanket. I don't know what I'm going to do with that one. I don't know if I'm going to add it to my Etsy shop, if I'm going to keep it. I do have a baby coming into the family soon, so I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with it. It's going to be all the colours, so it's going to be quite a different, unique blanket anyway. And then after that, I've still got this tiny bit, like, there's my hand for reference, but I've just got this tiny bit of yarn left. I really don't know what to do with it. I am making a big hexagon scrap blanket for my son. And it's just like every colour that you could think of. So what I'm thinking of doing is keeping these little bits of scrap and adding them to his scrap blanket as well. And then once they're finished, once I've added the 24 of these, his blanket will be finished as well. So in terms of a 33 gram ball, you do get quite a lot. So it's not to be disappointed. I know there's a lot of people that have finished the cal, but if you haven't and you're keeping it for another project, it does actually go quite a long way. So I will update you all on the progress as I go. Like I say, I'm going to turn them all into circles, then squares, then make these, and then that'll be the last part of the project. I'm not in a great rush for this, but I want to get these ones done, so I'm working on them any chance that I get, basically. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I know it was quite a long one, but I just wanted to explain what I was doing and how I found the Crochet Society Advent Calendar. But thanks for watching. Bye.